Hello, good evening. Here we are, Monday evening, again at 7 o'clock, um, with a little bit of kind of information and just to update so that you can hopefully have more peace in your life and kind of slowing down and those kinds of things. So tonight I'm going to talk a little bit about um, what I've heard or read about called benevolent detachment. So, trying to detach from all of the kind of media and social media and things that you see on your phone or on the TV or whatever, and just kind of detach in a way that is loving for yourself, um, so that you're not constantly available to everything all the time. We kind of get overwhelmed kind of with media and things, pop-ups on your phone or messages from your phone, um, and kind of reminders and things that just make noise or get your attention. I know I was thinking about this the other day when I was reading through this information about, my phone is attached to my watch, and my watch kind of, you know, vibrates or whatever, makes a noise for me to look at it. And my first reaction is to just stop whatever I'm doing and looking at it. And you know, most of the time, it's not anything that I have to look at right at that moment. So maybe we can start to, untangle ourselves from having to look at something immediately, or um, kind of taking care of something immediately and stepping back just a little bit. Our souls need some space to be able to kind of let go of things and not have to, think about what it is that you're trying to accomplish with your life, or trying to do the right things for other people, or be available to your boss, or whoever you have to be available for from work. It's okay to be available for those things when you need to, but I don't know that there are so many things that are so urgent that they can't wait, for a few minutes or a few hours, or if it's late in the evening and it's something to do with work, and you aren't at work, can it wait until tomorrow to look at it? So maybe being a little bit, having what I've seen called boundaries. There's so much talk about having boundaries now, and there's several books about that I've seen, talked about, that you have boundaries so that you don't have kind of this 24/7, you're available all the time, and letting some of that go so that you can have some space for yourself, and feeling like you can take care of yourself as much as you take care of everyone else around you. Because it's just hard, especially, there's so many of us that do things online, and maybe part of what you do for your business or your family is online, and you need to be available to do things and answer questions or whatever. Maybe you have some sort of online business that you take care of, that you need to be available. But I don't think just because it can be available 24/7 doesn't mean that you have to be available 24/7. Maybe coming up with a schedule that your hours are 9 to 5 or 7 to 3, or whatever works for your schedule. So do you have somebody that you need to take your kids to school, and so then when you're done dropping your kids off and then you get home, that's when your business starts. So you tell people, my business hours are 9 to 2, or whatever that is. You don't have to be available 24/7. And the same goes with, if you're at a job that you work, you have to go somewhere for a job and you're working 8 to 5, or, whatever those hours are. Find times maybe in the middle of the day where you just take a moment, and it doesn't have to be 20 minutes or anything like that. Just take a minute to just pause and think about, what are your feelings, and what is it that you need to do for yourself for today, um, to kind of unwind and not be so available all the time. um, Having some breathing room in your life. And I was reading this book about, kind of making more room for God to fill me up and to give things to God. And one of the scriptures on that is, cast all your anxiety on him because he cares for you, which is 1 Peter 5:7. Live carefree before God. He is most careful with you. So, giving your anxiety or what you're struggling with to God and allowing him to fill you up, to give you, kind of release all of the worries and those kinds of things to him, and kind of allowing him to help you with, what is it that I should do with my life, and what is it that I should be doing so that I don't have this anxiety or things, and maybe release all of that anxiety over to him, and kind of not take on so much for yourself. And we can, as a nurse, I have been in the situation where I feel like I have to help people a lot. And I think that there's a time when I can step back and not be that helper all the time, and to allow other people to take care of themselves, or, let other people take care of them, as opposed to me taking on that burden all by myself. Um, and if you need to kind of let go and, step back, kind of have boundaries, it may not be something that you can do in an instant. It's something that you learn over time and teach people over time, that I'm not available 24/7, that I need some moments to myself to be able to, kind of let go, to refill my own soul, and have the time and kind of energy to be able to do the things that you want to do. um, when, as I was reading through, this book, it was talking about, in the olden days, when, before cell phones and all of that, we we went to someone's house to, talk to them or communicate with them. And you wouldn't think about going to someone's home at 10 or 11 o'clock at night. So why should you be available to someone at those hours, if that's not an hour that you want to be available for people? Um, Learning to turn off notifications by 8 p.m., or just turn your phone off at that time, if that's something that you can do. I know there are some people that have, you might have elderly parents that you need to be able to be available 24/7. And I'm not talking about shutting out things like that. It's just things that are maybe not something that you need to be available for 24/7. Um, and in order to kind of help you with that, you can, just turn your phone off at a certain time in the evening, or silence it, so that the only thing that comes through are kind of those emergency kind of things. So I know for myself, I have that my phone is, won't let things come through unless somebody calls me like 3 times in a row from the same number, or I have certain people that are, kind of, their messages come through because they're on my favorites list, kind of thing. So there's all kinds of technology out there to be able to do that. So when you, kind of do this self-reflection of what it is that you want to do, and how you can unwind, maybe think of some specific things that you want to think about, kind of maybe go out on a walk outside, or just, sitting in the sunshine if it's too cold or whatever to be outside, and think about kind of what you most love about your life, um, the things that you're grateful for in your life, kind of reframing the, oh, I have so much to do, and maybe thinking about what it is that you're grateful for, and what is something that's really important to you. um, Maybe what are the 5 favorite things about yourself that you want to celebrate or be thankful for? Um, and think about what makes you happy in your life, and how you can do more of that. Sometimes we give and give and give to so many other people, and we forget about what it is that we want to do, or what makes us happy. So I think, thinking about those things, and maybe you want to exercise more, or you want to change your diet or something like that. This time of year is pretty common for people to think about those, because there's so many commercials, and you get ads popped up kind of on Facebook and everywhere now, of ways to lose weight or be more fit or those kinds of things. So maybe think about what are your goals, and are those something that you really want to do, or maybe you want to just relax and, you know listen to your body more and understand what it is that you want to do for yourself, and not take on this kind of diet mentality from everywhere that you see now. Maybe looking at kind of 3 short-term goals that you can do for the next 2 or 3 months, and specifically think about what those are. What is it specifically that you want to do? What do you want to accomplish? Maybe you want to be able to walk a mile in a certain amount of time, or you want to have an afternoon 1 day a week that you don't have any responsibilities, or mornings, or some time of the day that works for your schedule. So you think about those things, and what is it that you can do to make that. And maybe think about, if you're kind of hard on yourself, or have this kind of negative talk all the time in your brain, think about how you can talk to yourself differently. Maybe think about yourself as your best friend, and how you would talk to your best friend about things going on in your life, or your health, or whatever you want to focus on. So you can change kind of the way you think about that, um, and kind of be more compassionate to yourself regarding how things are going in your life. And then maybe think about, what is it that motivates you to do what you want to do. Um, Maybe, I don't know, there's so many things. You want to have more energy, or you want to wear a different size, or you just want to feel better about yourself. All of those things are motivations to change. And change is hard. It's really hard sometimes to make changes that are lasting. So um, I don't know if you saw that we're doing this book study on habit change, or anyway, something habits with James Clear. And I think that that's a good, the beginning of the book talks about habit change and doing 1% changes. So if you think about that, as it relates to time, if you look at a 7-day period, a 1% time in 7 days is 90 minutes. So if you think about that, 90 minutes in 7 days, that's not very much time. That's a 1% time. So it's less than, or just a little over 10 minutes each day is a 1% focus that you could have to do something. So what's 10 minutes? I mean, we all have 10 minutes that we could focus on something that we want to do with our lives. Do you want to read another book, or, you know, take a walk? Maybe work on a new project. You want to learn how to knit or crochet or something like that, or spend time, I don't know, with your dog, or, there's all kinds of things. What's 10 minutes? 10 minutes is not hardly any time when you think about all of the minutes in your day and what you spend on. Are you on social media for 30 minutes a day? Maybe 10 of those minutes could be doing something else. But if you need that 10 minutes to relax or do nothing, then do that. Spend those 10 minutes doing nothing, because the rest of your day is so full. And you can learn to just relax and not have to do something every moment of every day. And then when you think about what it is that is important to you and how you can make those things happen, maybe, removing some social media things from your phone so that you are able to focus on other things, and figuring out what it is that gives you the rest that you need and the space that you need to not feel so overwhelmed with the things that you have to do. And learning to say no to people and having those boundaries so that you have the time to do things that are important to you. And maybe just learning to give yourself 10 minutes in your day that you just sit and do nothing and just relax. And I've learned I drive quite a ways to work every day, and I started to just turn my radio off and not have anything on and just be silent for that amount of time. And for me, that's 30 to 40 minutes every single day, twice a day. Actually, most of the time I just do it in the morning. So I'd say once a day, 30 to 40 minutes, I just have silence where the radio's not on. I don't have my phone on, none of that. It's just silence. And that has helped me to kind of think through things that are important to me. And I know that not everyone has that kind of freedom to have 30 to 40 minutes every day to have that. But think about, even if it's just a couple of minutes every day where you just have silence, where you had turn everything off, and maybe when the kids are taking a nap, or when they're at school, or when on your commute you're taking kids to school or picking them up, and maybe for just a few minutes before they're in your vehicle, you take just a minute or two to just sit and be quiet and listen to what comes up in your brain, and what is it that you're really wanting to do for yourself. And that's the biggest thing. I think we need to be more open to what it is that we want to do for ourselves, and be okay with doing those things. If that means maybe your spouse takes care of the kids for an hour one day a week, or every other week, whatever works for your schedules. Or for those of us that don't have kids, maybe it's just that I turn my social media stuff off, or the TV off, or just take a walk outside and be alone for a while. I think that that's important, that we just kind of detach, have that benevolent detachment where you learn to love yourself enough to let go of all of those things. And if that means that you have to go away somewhere to be able to do that and not be around, whatever, your home or whatever, just do it in your car for a minute or two. And just really listen to what it is that you want to do for yourself in the moments that you have. Yeah, so if you want to join us for the book club, we just started. So I have that book club. I posted that in our group. So if anybody else is interested in joining that, we just started that. We're just in the very beginning of the book. So you can easily catch up if you're interested in doing that. We're Atomic Habits is the name of the book. I don't know if I said that correctly earlier. So that's the name of the book. Um, or if you just have questions or want to talk about goals or anything that you want, I'm available to do that too. We can, do a free 30-minute call to talk about goals and how you can kind of figure out where it is that you want to go. So just message me if you're interested in that. Okay, we'll see you again next week.